If your peace depends on stability, it's not peace, it's dependency. Peace isn't the absence of trouble, but the presence of consciousness. Welcome to the Thursday transmission. I'm your host, Kisma. Every week we take 20 minutes to cut through the noise, clear the energy, and help you remember something you never lost, just forgot, your true self within. Today, we're going to talk about how to feel good when the world is upside down, and I would add all around. So how to feel good when the world is upside down and all around. Who wants to feel good? Like, who would love to be able to reset and find that like inner pulse, right? That inner joy, feeling good, life is good, regardless of what your perception is of the world. Because we're all going to have a different perception, but Daniel's here. But I do believe that we could say quantifiably that things are a little upside down. Things are a little all around. So let's start with, this might be a little bit of an uncomfortable truth, but you're all here. And so I have a feeling you're going to get it. Most people don't know how to feel good unless the world gives them permission. And lately, the world has revoked permission. It's like it's pulled back its permission slip. And everywhere you look, it could be the news, it could be social media, maybe it's a conversation with your neighbor, there are elements of chaos. There's division, there's uncertainty. And it's like the entire planet got tilted and people can't find their balance again. It's kind of like my pendulum. So it just starts, the pendulum's finding its balance because the pendulum is guided by the magnetic truth, right? So the question though, I want you to think about, what if the problem isn't the chaos out there? What if it's the attachment or the dependence that you have on the outer stability for inner peace, for inner happiness? What if the real challenge is you're expecting the world to consistently and constantly give you that permission slip, but it's never going to? I think it's fair to say that you've been taught or demonstrated, I think we all have, I don't know about you, but I know I have, and I think we all have been taught or demonstrated that we react and respond to what's going on around us, to the outer world. And that outer world, as you know, grows to become a mirror of our consciousness, of our inner state. And so that's why when the world flips upside down, so does your nervous system. And so tonight we're going to talk about emotional sovereignty, you might say, that natural authority over yourself, how to feel good when everything around you, or even everybody around you, says, no, you shouldn't, it's not possible. But it is, and it's the most important possible thing. So if I said there's like a mechanic of emotional hijacking, it would look like when the world gets chaotic, and that could be your world, it could be the whole world, your mind starts scanning for safety. And that's not intuition, everyone. That's like survival software. So your brain says, if I cannot control my world, I'm going to be upside down. It also says, if I can control my world, I'm going to feel better. So the brain, the nervous system, the subconscious starts to seek control for safety to feel better. But because we can't control the world, we spiral into helplessness. And that's how the world steals your joy, not through the events, but through your agreement that your peace is conditional. The moment you have an agreement that your peace is conditional with what's going on in the world, you will never, ever have peace. You will never, ever have real happiness. Great teacher Vernon Howard, love him. He once wrote, "Circumstances cannot cause suffering, only identification with them can." Circumstances cannot cause suffering, only identification with them can. Now, I could do a whole nother Thursday transmission on the tipping point. Maybe I will, but just hear me out. You can put that in perspective. The problem isn't the noise. It's that you keep believing the noise is more real than the silence inside you. So let's draw a cosmic line tonight. If your peace depends on stability, it's not peace, it's dependency. So if we look at this invisible addiction to negativity, I think you're going to understand why all this happens. So negativity can feel familiar. And familiar, as you know, feels safe. Safe is attractive. We humans repeat attractive. Why do you think it is when you're in the grocery store, you pick up a gossip magazine, there's huge negativity, or you're scrolling, all of a sudden you feel better? It's become this magnet to you. It's familiar. And you see somebody else's negativity, and all of a sudden you're thinking, well, maybe I'm safe right now. But society wants to condition us, our minds, your mind, to equate thinking critically with feeling bad. But it doesn't have to be. But this is why people scroll on chaos, before bed. Are you ever picking up the news or the social media and you're just looking at all the chaos? And you might justify it like, I'm just staying informed. But then you wonder why you wake up anxious. It's like you had to do a whole detox in the middle of the night. And negativity can give the ego identity. Oftentimes the ego is going to feed on that friction, on that negativity. So that's why, everyone, listen up. When something is calm, you'll catch your mind whispering or feeling like something's off. This isn't usual. It's looking for chaos because chaos gives it something to do. And you cannot feel good in an upside down world if you're secretly addicted to the adrenaline of chaos. You're just going to keep seeking the chaos. It'll be like a false sense of good. Does that make sense? So let's look at what feeling good actually means. It's not pretending, everyone. It's not this magical spiritual bypassing pain. Feeling good, spiritually speaking, means being in right relationship with self and right relationship with reality. You stop demanding the world to change. You start changing the way you see the world. You change you. You have right relationship with self. This is the law of non-resistance at work. So when you stop fighting what is, the energy that used to go into resistance becomes available for creation, your own creation. Neville Goddard once said, "You cannot serve two masters, your fear and your vision." And you cannot create more prosperity and more brilliance when you're coming from fear. You'll only create more things to fear. So to feel good when the world is upside down and all around isn't rebellion, it's alignment to your own presence, to your self-awareness. You're choosing to operate from a higher law, a higher consciousness, where peace isn't the absence of trouble, but the presence of consciousness. So if we looked at this more practically, here's how to, I would say, reclaim your inner state when the outer world tilts. Reset your sensory field. So the moment you feel overstimulated, unplug. Catch yourself. Have the situational awareness, the self-awareness to unplug. Step away from screens, except for now, stay right here. Step away from screens and headlines and noise and your neighbor's gossip and all the things that you're focused on that isn't working. Step away. Because silence isn't avoidance. It's like a detox for your soul. And I want you to think about position this as the reclaim command center, reclaiming your peace command center. There's something I learned 2 decades ago in India at the ashram. And it's something the sages have been teaching since the beginning of time. And it's actually really simple, but hardly anyone pauses and thinks about it because you can be so swept up in the chaos of the world. But it's called 3 R's. And jot these down. It's incredibly simple and incredibly powerful. The first R, like R, is receive. You're receiving information from the world 24/7. So depending on the filter of how you receive, whether you're aware and present, will determine how that information, energy, etc., gets to your subconscious mind, filters out, and goes out into the universe. So you're receiving all the time. You also have the second R, which is you're reacting internally. Now, the more that you choose the higher laws, the higher consciousness, the more that you will calm the reaction. You'll be more objective. The more peace you allow, the more calm is your reaction. But regardless, because we all have a tipping point, even if an internal reaction is like, oh, there's a trigger, if you know to step back and take a beat, the third R is treated in a high, I would call it a high vibrational way, which is respond. So we receive information, we react, and then we respond. If our reaction is in turmoil, in chaos, all the stuff, then you respond in a way that you probably wish you hadn't 3 minutes later. And once you respond in that way, you're putting out that energy again and again. And so then you shape a reality to receive more information, react, and respond. It becomes like a really sneaky loop. But when you find that peace, when you allow it, when you're changing how you identify with the world or whatever you received, you have a way better opportunity of maintaining that peace inside. Then your response is very elegant, or maybe it's very powerful, but whatever it is, it's guided by your intellect. So when you maintain this inner harmony, you become the stabilizer in the room. This isn't passive spirituality. It's energetic leadership. It's energetic creation. Because the world doesn't need more reactors. The world needs regulators of light. And so think about this, like speaking of light, think about the lighthouse, right? If you imagine that a lighthouse is right there in the center of a storm. The storm's coming, but the lighthouse doesn't panic when the storm comes. It simply kind of shines this light on the waves and allows the light to just continue to calm the seas, right? It's not like cursing the waves. It's not wishing the waves were different. It's like shining the light and saying, look where you can go. It's just doing what it does. It's simply illuminating light. So the storm isn't the problem. Forgetting that you have the light is the problem. So when you stay centered through whether it's meditation, whether it's energy clearings, whether it's gratitude, happiness, silence, love, you emit a signal that says chaos can just go away. Chaos will not enter my field. You outshine the storm. And that's what it means to feel good when the world is upside down. You become this center of alignment, and it doesn't mean you're neglecting things. It doesn't mean you're in this like weird spiritual bypass. It means you are calm because you know there's a higher truth. So instead of identifying with the chaos, you're identifying with that thing that you never lost, just forgot, your true self within. So I want to invite you tonight to think about this. It's like an invitation. Stop trying to fix the world. Stop trying to fix someone else. Adjust your focus. Change your perception. Because when your consciousness lifts, your world will reorganize in an incredible way. Peace isn't something you wait for, everyone. It's something that you stand in. It's something you claim. And this is really how the masters, since the beginning of time, have walked through chaos, untouched. They stopped mistaking noise for truth. They didn't play into someone else's truth, someone else's chaos, someone else's noise. They didn't resist what was happening. They identified with their own power. So even if the world feels like it's upside down and all around, your awareness can remain upright. And that is what it means to feel good no matter what. You identify with whatever spark of happiness you can find inside, which I guarantee it's there. You identify with your true self, a higher state of consciousness. You remember there's a purpose that you're here, and you're ready to, it sounds cheesy, but you're ready to be that light. Because that light, everyone, happens to be highly attractive, definitely magnetic. So that's our Thursday transmission this week, everyone. Obviously, if you want some help with that, support, coaching, community, let us know, because Illumination Academy is filled with light and we are here to serve and support. All right, everyone, have the most amazing night. Blessings to you. Namaste. If you enjoyed this transmission and want to join me live every Thursday, click the link below. I'll send you the private broadcast link to join live, plus exclusive teachings I only share with my subscribers.